Whether it's getting to work, school, and home quickly and safely, or visiting popular tourist destinations and cultural attractions across the province like Niagara Wine Country, our government is investing in crucial infrastructure projects. There are over 100 key transit infrastructure projects in development across the province right now, paving the way for a more accessible and prosperous future while supporting high-paying construction jobs. Today, I look forward to hearing more good news with this announcement from our Premier and Minister Mulroney regarding our plan for better transit and more prosperity here in Niagara. I now have the great privilege of welcoming Phil Verster to the podium. Welcome, Phil.
Thank you, Sam. You know, the investments we've made on Lakeshore West have allowed us to run more trains through to Hamilton and then also through to the Niagara region. You know, and we're very excited. Even as late as last year, we've been seeing 3.5 to 6 times as many riders on our trains coming as tourists to Niagara over weekend and weekend days. And our partnership with the Niagara Parks Commission on the GO trains and the We Go bus gives great opportunities for people to have fantastic tourism journeys. And we're very excited about just the tourism that can come to Niagara Falls from the increased services. But then also, in addition to that, connecting some of the cities along the corridors, such as Grimsby and Beamsville, and our new station that we are building towards Hamilton, all creates opportunities for connecting the region better with the rest of Toronto. So onwards and upwards. Thank you very much, Minister Mulroney.
Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. It's so great to be here in beautiful St. Catharines on such a beautiful day. It was just shy of a year ago that the Premier, my colleagues and I were out in Niagara region to share exciting news about the return of weekend round trips from Union Station to Niagara Falls. I am so pleased to be back alongside Premier Ford, Ministers Lumsden and Cho, MPP Oosterhoff, Phil Verster, Mayor Diodati, Mayor Cisco, and Chair Jim Bradley. Residents here in St. Catharines, Niagara Falls, and across the GTHA rely on GO Transit to get where they need to go. Whether it's to get to work in downtown Toronto or for some weekend family fun in the Falls. Heading into May 2-4 weekend, it's an especially exciting time for families and friends looking to escape the city life and enjoy the best of what Ontario has to offer. And what better place to explore than right here, the Niagara region. A gateway to Ontario and one of the top tourist destinations in all of Canada. But let's face it, world-class destinations like Niagara and Toronto deserve a world-class transit system to help people get there. A fact that was neglected for far too long under the previous Liberals. But with Premier Ford at the helm, public transit is not taking a backseat. And this is great news for the rapidly growing number of people, including right here in Niagara region, who are opting to take public transit every single day. We're making historic investments to the tune of $70.5 billion over the next 10 years to deliver the better public transit that Ontarians need. This includes brand new subways, LRTs, and of course, the GO expansion program. Premier Ford is leading the charge on the largest transit expansion Ontario has ever seen, which will include more frequent GO service throughout the entire network, including Niagara. This is a key part of our plan to fight gridlock, and it makes taking public transit faster, easier, and more affordable than ever before. I'm proud to be part of a government under the leadership of this Premier that has made transit a priority. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce a true transit champion, our Premier, Doug Ford. Thank you, merci.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Minister Mulroney, for that introduction. I'll tell you, I'm thrilled to be back here in the beautiful city of St. Catharines, as they say, the Garden City, alongside Minister Mulroney, Lumsden and Cho, and MVP, the hometown boy, as I call him, Sammy Oosterhoff. So thank you for all the great work you do in Niagara region, Sam. I also want to give a big welcome to Metrolinx President and CEO Phil Verster. Folks, I got to tell you a little bit about Phil. You know, when we first got in office back in 2018, he was responsible for one part of the GO and so on and so forth, and we have just piled $70 billion on his shoulders of transit all over, no matter if it's the 4 lines in Toronto and the GTA or expanding throughout Ontario, GO train service. And Phil, you've done a great job, and you have my 100% support. And of course, the hometown mayor, Matt Cisco. Mayor, thank you for having us here. And Niagara Falls Mayor Jim Diodati, and the regional chair, Jim Bradley. Jim, it was great to see you down at Queen's Park the other day as well. And it's great to see so many people here today representing Niagara Region's tourism and hospitality sectors. Thank you all for joining us. I'll tell you, it's now been almost 1 year since we were last together to bring back year-round weekend GO rail service between Toronto and Niagara Falls. And I remember that because, Mayor, you were as excited as anything. I think all the mayors were, but Mayor Diodati. And friends, we have some other great news. This service has been a huge success. In fact, in January 2023, weekend ridership on GO trains to Niagara was up 3.4 times higher compared to January 2020 levels. That's just absolutely incredible. And yeah, that's great. And you've heard me say it before, Niagara is one of the best tourist destinations anywhere in the world, and with the collaboration and cooperation with the region and the local mayors, we're going to do some incredible things in Niagara. This region attracts over 12 million visitors every year, enjoying the beautiful views of the falls, the vineyards, casinos, and gaming. And that's, that's a famous Niagara hospitality. When you come here, folks, when you have people from around the world, we live in such a multicultural province. When you have friends come in, you have to come down to Niagara Falls. So today, I'm thrilled to announce that we're expanding GO train service to Niagara even more, making it easier, faster, and more convenient for people and families to visit this beautiful region. Starting tomorrow, the number of round trips between Union Station and Niagara Falls will more than double. This includes it's exciting. This includes 2 new round trips every weekday and 1 new daily round trip every weekend. That makes for a total of 21 round trips every week. That never has happened in as long as I can remember. It hasn't happened. So 21 round trips every single week. We also will be introducing more express train service between Hamilton, Burlington, and Toronto. And once again, GO trains will be stopping right here at the St. Catharines Via Station. Friends, this expanded GO service will be a huge boost for the people and the businesses of Niagara Region. It will help attract more tourists to the region, creating more jobs, and be an economic driver for local hotels and restaurants and other attractions and businesses. And for Niagara's region's growing population, it will provide daily commuters with more service, more options, and more convenience. It will help fight gridlock on our roads and reduce travel times, allowing people to spend more time at home with their families rather than sitting there and stuck in bumper traffic. They'll be there with their families. Friends, our government has a plan to build Ontario, helping people, businesses, and communities today while laying a strong foundation for generations to come. We're creating the conditions for businesses to thrive and jobs to grow in every part of the province. I love saying these numbers because they keep growing. I think at one time it was 600,000, then it was 650. Folks, with your help, with the businesses' help, with the municipalities' help, there's 670,000 more people working today than before we took office in 2018, and I contribute that to all the great people here in Ontario. And we're investing over $70 billion in the biggest transit expansion. They say Canadian history, but I say in North America. Right now, that's the largest transit project anywhere, including new subways and reliable rail options from Niagara in the west to Bowmanville in the east, and to Timmins and Cochrane in the north. And while we expand our transit system, we're investing $25 billion over 10 years to build new roads and highways, including Highway 413, the Bradford Bypass, and the QEW Garden City Skyway Bridge twinning project. We're building the transportation infrastructure our economy needs to reach its full potential, to keep people and goods moving. Together with our partners, we are building Ontario now and for the future. Thank you all for joining us, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
Okay, we'll now take questions. Just a reminder, it's one question, one follow-up.
Good morning, Premier.
Good morning.
Jason Goodall with CHCH News.
Hi.
I believe you were asked last week in regards to St. Catharines Mayor mentioning about the homelessness and the drug use that's happening in the downtown core of St. Catharines. Could you elaborate on what you're mentioning about having more drug rehab centers than before tackling the housing issue? I was wondering if you can elaborate and expand on your explanation on that.
Sure, I appreciate that. We've seen spending go right up. We're giving more money to all regions around Ontario. I'll give you an example. Niagara region, St. Catharines, they have an 86% increase from $9.6 million to $20.8 million. I see the problems. I'm visiting these towns. I see it in Hamilton, and then Hamilton's funds went up over 18% increase. We're going to be there for them, but you're right. I'm a strong believer in rehabilitation centers, and going back to Hamilton again, we went from 4.3% to an increase of $27.9 million. I apologize, 4.3 million to 27.9 million. We're going to be there for the municipalities. Again, these people need the support. They need to be in rehabilitation, and we're going to be there to help them.
The city of Hamilton city staff was exploring sanctioned encampment sites in the city to kind of mitigate the encampment issue that's happening in Hamilton. What is your province ready to step in and maybe take a little bit more action to help expedite people being housed there?
Well, again, we're increasing the funding to $27.9 million. Our goal is to make sure that people have a place to call home, no matter if it's a little apartment or whatever. We can't have people setting up camps in these cities. We just can't have it. So we need to support the cities in making sure that they have proper housing, and we're going to be there for them.
Hi, Premier. It's Siobhan Morris from CTV.
Hi, Siobhan.
We'd heard some concerns yesterday about the timeline for the de-amalgamation of Peel. What's the rush in getting this done?
Well, it's not a rush. You can go two ways here, and I've talked to the mayors, talked to Mayor Crombie, talked to Mayor Brown as well, and I left a message for Mayor Groves. I'm sure she'll probably call me right now. We have two ways of doing it. You slow roll this, and slow rolling is 2.5, 3 years, or they sit around the table and with the transition team and the facilitator, and we move forward. This is about giving them the independence to run their own cities, not worry about another level of government overruling them. They want it. We gave it to them. I promised Hazel many years ago that I believe, and she believed, that a city almost 800,000 people should be independent. I agree, and I'll tell you, the phone calls have been ringing off the hook with other mayors saying, hey, I want my independence. We're the only government, just think of it, in the history of Ontario, that's actually given people their independence, giving the municipalities a strong mayor system until they can make decisions and move things forward. So this is a really good thing. I'm sure they'll sit down and there'll be a few disagreements, but at the end of the day, they both want it. They're both going to get it.
You said your phone's ringing off the hook with other mayors asking for independence. Who?
Well, I'm not going to name names. That's not fair to them. But everyone wants to, call their own shots per se, and I don't disagree with them. Maybe it goes back to my roots as city council, and I always hate upper tier governments dictating here, there, and the other thing. We're there to support them. We're there to fund them provincially, and so is the federal government. But they have to make decisions themselves. No one knows their towns and cities better than the mayors and the city councilors. I walked a mile in their shoes. You're on their front doorstep. You're dealing with Mrs. Jones cracking the sidewalk or a pothole and everything in between. Again, no one knows their regions better than the local representatives.
Hi, Premier. Good morning. Laura
Hi.
Stone, Globe and Mail.
Hi, Laura.
On the Stellantis deal, I understand Ontario and Ottawa have been in negotiations, and it's my understanding that your government is willing to now spend more money on the deal. Can you elaborate on that and provide details as to what you're willing to do?
Sure. Well, I'm not going to get into the full details until the announcement comes out, but this is all about protecting jobs and the people. That's what it comes down to. Down in Windsor, before we came into office, you could shoot a cannon down the street in the middle of downtown and you wouldn't hit anyone. This is going to be an opportunity to people to get great paying jobs. It's going to bring certainty and stability within that region. Folks, our plan, working with, again, the municipalities and the federal government in Ontario, I've had an opportunity to talk to ambassadors and consul generals and governors all throughout the world, and obviously down in the States. Man, with the cooperation of everyone, we are doing well here in Ontario. It's a quality of life, not only for the people to live and raise a family, but a quality of life for businesses to come here and open up. We right now, we're moving in the right direction with the cooperation, again, with the municipalities, federal government, because, folks, it's us versus the world when it comes to attracting these companies to Ontario. And as much as the world is a massive place, and when it comes to the auto sector or the tech sector or life science sector, it's very, very small, and everyone talks. And the word on the street right now around the world is come to Ontario, invest in Ontario. It's one of the greatest places in the world to live, work, and open a business.
Okay, thank you. You sort of confirmed there, but can you just confirm that Ontario is going to provide more money for this deal, and will it be significantly more than what was provided, the $500 million that you talked about?
I will confirm we're putting more money on the table there. This is all about saving jobs and giving people the quality of life they deserve in southwestern Ontario. And this is really exciting, no matter if it's Stellantis or if it's Volkswagen. Folks, the place to be is right down in southwestern Ontario if you need a job. And we're doing the same here in Niagara. We're working hand in hand with the chair. Chair Bradley came to our office, brought some local mayors. It's about communicating, sitting across the table. Forget about these political stripes. I know I sound like I'm preaching all the time, but I can't stand these political stripes. We work so well with the chair and mayors of other political stripes. We all have something in common. We want to make sure we have the best quality of life for our residents in every community. But there's no more beautiful place than here in Niagara. So I encourage everyone, please, this summer, come by down to the Niagara region, go on the wine tours, go down to the Niagara Falls, stay in a hotel, go out for dinner. This is gorgeous down here.
Good morning. It's Paul Smith from CBC.
Hi, Paul.
Out of your list of 6 municipalities, which one is on your top list of that list to see changes, and what would you like to see?
Well, I think right across all of Ontario, I talked about southwestern Ontario, talking about Niagara. Eastern Ontario, too, is booming, no matter if it goes from Belleville to Brockville. A lot of companies are moving out there. Then you have Ottawa, too, in the tech sector. They're the tech center of North America now. They have over 500 tech companies out there. But again, I want to stress this. It's about working together collaboratively with all 3 levels of government and the private sector and the communities. I can't stress it enough that it's so competitive right now worldwide to attract these companies. And when we all unite, we're unstoppable. We really are unstoppable when everyone comes together.
And I know you've been asked about the Minden Hospital before.
Yep.
I just want to clarify your position. Is there a chance your government will try to keep the ER from closing?
Well, let's just keep in mind that the Minden Hospital is going to stay open. We're working with the hospitals. They're the ones that hire nurses and within that community. But we always believe in giving the best service we can when it comes to healthcare right across the province. So we are working hand in hand with the hospital through the Ministry of Health.
This will be the last question.
Hi, Doug.
Hi.
Alan from the Standard.
Hi, Alan.
Just wondered, back when the legislation for the housing first came forward,
Yep.
I think there was a lot of speculation about mergers rather than dissolving regions. And I wondered, is that still on the table? I mean, could we be, when we're looking at the additional 6 municipalities, could perhaps megacities be in their future, or is that out of the question now?
Well, I want to work hand in hand with the mayors. I'll give you an example. Let's just talk about Peel, because that's kind of the hot potato right now. The mayors have to get out there, the regions have to get out there and really ask for it. I'm not going to go in there and put the hammer on anyone. It was started with Mayor Hazel. I promised her and agreed with her that Mississauga should be its own city, and then Mayor Crombie agreed, Mayor Brown, and my exact words to both of them, with Mayor Bonnie Crombie, I said, you should be doing cartwheels, when I talked to her last night, all the way down Highway 10. And when I talked to Mayor Brown, I said, you should be doing cartwheels all the way down Highway 410, because it gives them their independence. It gives them the strong mayor powers. And they have a lot of items that they want to do. And then let's empower local government. I've been a strong believer. And again, it probably goes back to my roots being a city councilor. But we'll be there to support them. So answer your question, nothing happens without sitting down and listening to the cities and towns in any region.
A few years ago, you were talking about the number of elected politicians in Niagara specifically, and it would seem to me that dissolving the region would do little to address that. Just kind of throwing that out there.
Well, again, I had Chair Bradley over with the mayors, and I'd be very transparent. I said, hey, you have too many politicians. But you know what's nice about Niagara? It works. It's working right now. It's growing. Businesses are coming. Tourists are coming. And we're going to be there to support them, to really just enhance it to another level as well. We have some really exciting things that we're going to be doing in Niagara to bring that 12 million visitors up to 20 million visitors. As they say, build it and they will come. And together we're going to build Niagara region and support them, no matter if it's the wine industry, tourism industry, or right across the board there.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Very